Hey everyone, do you need sleeves for your GLC, standard, or other decks? Well, the Comeback Mechanics have an affiliate code with dual spec TCG accessories. So use our link in the description or enter the code Comeback Mechanics to get 10% off at checkout. Hello and welcome to the Comeback Mechanics October 2025 Gym Leader Challenge Tournament. My name is Cody Hope, and I'm casting for you this feature match between John Rebedu with ABRA and Mark Zamora with his Fire Friends. The Comeback Mechanics are a competitive team based in Dallas, Texas, and this matchup is from our monthly GLC tournament. As always, a huge shout out to our sponsor, Lone Star Pack Breaks in Carrollton, Texas, who so generously provide prizing for each of our tournaments.
Join Lone Star Pack Breaks live on Twitch Wednesday through Friday nights to rip into the latest Pokemon sets in English and Japanese, plus One Piece, Weiss, Union Arena, Final Fantasy, and more. LSPB ships anywhere in the U.S., or if you're local, choose in-store pickup at their shop in Carrollton, Texas. Pickup orders are usually ready 1 to 2 days after a stream. Plus, if you're a Pokemon player, don't miss their standard tournaments every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Check out the links below to get in on the action.
Huge thanks again to Lone Star Pack Breaks for sponsoring the channel, and a huge thank you to you. October 2024 is when we put up our first GLC video, and it just means so much to all of us here at the Comeback Mechanics for all of your support over the past year, and here's hoping there's many more years to come. But getting into the games here, John is over on the left, and he is playing a really fun build of Psychic. It is built around drawing as many cards as possible and hoping to win the game with Unown, who has the hand ability where you got 35 or more cards in your hand, you win the game. John has started on the Tinkaton, and he's going to play his Nest Ball. He's going to be using our Matty Map House rule, where the first time you search your deck, you can take a peek at those prizes. Really helps me for coverage purposes, and also cuts down on prize checking here. And everything else in John's deck here is kind of built around drawing cards. We saw in his prizes, he has the Shining Arcana Gardevoir, where you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, draw some cards, or attach energy to your Pokemon. You know, he's also obviously on the Refinement Curlia, things like Xatu, Clairvoyant Sense to draw a couple of cards. The Tinkaton has that big Gather Materials to draw 3 cards. And the big new addition here is the KADRAWBRA and the Alakazam from Mega Evolutions here. We do see John's going to grab the Abra off of that Nest Ball. When you evolve into KADRAWBRA, you get to draw 2, and when you evolve into Alakazam, you get to draw 3. What I really like about John's deck is that it's not entirely just about drawing cards to win the game. That is the really fun alternate win condition, which I really hope John can pull off this game, because I always think an alternate win condition is really exciting, but there's just a lot of other synergy with having a bunch of cards in your hand. The Alakazam can definitely take knockouts. Tinkaton's a very solid attacker. There's just a lot kind of going on, so even if one strategy doesn't work, if let's say Mark is on a bunch of hand attack, you know, John can still win the game. He's not just dead to an Iono here. Which over to Mark's side of the field, we see he's going to start off on the Professor's Letter, going to take a peek at those prizes. The big thing in the prizes is that Macargo. Another thing to note is we do allow unlimited proxies at our tournaments, you know, just kind of a removing some barriers to entry to playing some new decks. Don't want to have to, oh, my cards didn't come in, I can't play this cool deck this month. So, you know, no worries there. Mark's deck doesn't really have any gimmicks to it. It's just kind of some good stuff fire, right? He's on the Skeledirge, that big Torcerto attack to do a bunch of damage. Things like the Chi-Yu with that Mega Fire of Envy. We also see he's opened on the Gouging Fire, right? Just some really solid fire attackers in this deck. And we see he also has the Nest Ball, very nice. Going to help him get some stuff going here. And he's going to grab that Ponyta. I guess the newest addition from this deck is the Rapidash, where you just kind of can draw a card once a turn. Like, really nice. It also combos really well with that Macargo, which unfortunately is in the prizes, but hopefully Mark can get it out of the prizes pretty fast here. And he's going to play the Quick Ball, going to grab the Score Bunny, trying to end up as that Cinderace, which has that Libero ability, where when it moves from the bench to the active, you can attach 2 fire energy cards from your discard pile to it. I really love how much energy acceleration fire has, right? This Cinderace can help accelerate energy, and of course you have some of the most powerful supporters in the game, in my opinion, with things like Welder and Blacksmith. Just some really solid energy acceleration here. Although we do just see that Mark is going to play the Tate and Liza. Tate and Liza would be really nice to use that switching effect with the Cinderace, but in kind of situations like this when your hand's not very good, you can use that other effect and just draw a couple of cards, refresh that hand. And we see, got that Hisuian Heavy Ball. Unfortunately, Hisuian Heavy Ball can only grab the basics, cannot grab that evolution. So he's just going to grab the Moltres here, and the Moltres has a free retreat if it has a fire energy attached to it, but it has the ability to hit the bench, which is such a strong ability here, considering a lot of great support Pokemon have under 120 HP here. And we're just going to see an attack for 30 off of the Gouging Fire, and we're back over to John's side of the field. We do see that John has the Natu. This is the really cool Natu with the ability to, when it takes a knockout, it can take an additional prize card, which is very, very cool. We do see that he is he doesn't have any like crazy combos in here. We don't see like the TM Crisis Punch or something like that. But you know, it could come up where you get to use that Psy Wave, you know, do maybe, 10, 20, maybe even 30 damage and just take an extra prize card here. Really cool because we do also see that John is on the Strange Timepiece. It just allows you to kind of devolve any one of your psychic Pokemon, and you can do it for multiple stages as well. This is really great with the Alakazam, can go all the way back into the Abra, but can also unevolve that Xatu back into Natu if you want to try to take some extra prize cards here at the end of the game. We see that he plays the Acerola's Premonition. Your opponent reveals their hand and you draw a card for each trainer card you find there. So not only does this give John some really good information into what's in Mark's hand, also draws him some cards, gets him a little bit closer to his win condition. And then just going to do that Mountain Scrounging, can look at the top card of your deck, and then you can draw it, which is really cool. And so we're back over to Mark's side here, and he has one of my favorite cards of all time, Arven. This card has been such a powerhouse, both in GLC as well as Standard. I really think the design of this card is super rad. Such a great card. And he's going to find himself both a tool and an item. Could maybe find something like he's going to find the Evolution Incense to help get him into his evolutions. I imagine that Incense is probably going to grab Rapidash. That makes the most sense to me. And let's see what tool card he ends up grabbing. He's got a couple options. Can go with something like the Float Stone is what I would imagine to get out of the Gouging Fire. But I'm just going to grab the Muscle Band so he can do 20 more damage. Not going to be super relevant right this turn because that Gouging Fire is just going to be able to knock out the Tinkatink this turn. And yeah, that Evolution Incense is going to grab the Rapidash, which has that the Hurried Gate ability. Just draw a card. Really solid. Really, really solid. And so, yeah, probably just going to see a knockout this turn. Oh, he is going to go ahead and put the Muscle Band on it. Maybe he's got something like a Boss's Orders. Could try to boss up the Abra. That'd be pretty neat. But let's see what card he ends up drawing here. Oh, he's keeping it real close to the chest. Not going to let me see. And yeah, just going to take a knockout here. Makes sense. And also the Gouging Fire, I don't think is in any danger of getting knocked out on this next turn. So putting the Muscle Band there makes some bit of sense as well. All right, and John has found a Buddy Puffin. This will be really nice to get some more basics on to the bench. We do see he is grabbing up that Esper, which evolves into the Meowstic. Has Allure, lets you draw 3 cards, but you can also use that Hand Kinesis attack, does 10 damage for each card in your hand, which is very, very nice. So again, I really like that John didn't just go all in on, I'm going to win with Unknown Hand, just kind of playing these cards that care about cards in hand, so that way you're not just drawing a bunch of cards for no reason. I think that that's really, really nice here. And he's also going to grab Routes. And this is the new optimal routes from Mega Evolutions. Glad we get to see so many new Mega Evolution cards this game. And trying to end up as that Refinement Curlia. And something else to note, John is playing the Buddy Catch Gallade as well. So we can kind of pick which evolution he wants to go into. We saw that Gardevoir was prized, so maybe just end up going into Gallade here. We see that he's got a lot of good cards in his hand, a lot of really good supporters. We see that Brock's Scouting, really nice to find some more basics or some evolutions. It'd be really nice if John could find like Kadabra to draw a couple of cards, but fortunately he currently cannot. And that Tinkatink was just knocked out. I do think I see the Tinkatuff in the hand, which is a little unfortunate here. It just seems like John kind of has drawn the wrong part of his deck. But he does have that Brock's Scouting. It is going to allow him to pick up probably, I would imagine, yeah, like an evolution. I do see he is eyeing up the Kadabra, which would be nice. Again, Brock's Scouting lets you search for either 2 basics or 1 evolution card. I don't really think there's any other basics that John wants to grab. Like he could grab something like the Cleffa, that big grasping draw to draw until he has 7, but John has a good healthy amount of cards in his hand. And I see he is going to end up grabbing the Xatu. Xatu is really nice. It's going to draw about as many cards as Kadabra is, being 2, but you also get to accelerate that energy into play, and you get to do that turn after turn, which is really nice. We could see maybe Abra do the teleportation attack this turn, but no, instead just going to put that U-turn board on it. Makes sense as well. Could maybe go into the routes, collect to draw a card. Makes sense as well. You're going to do energy retrieval, going to pick up an energy card from the discard, so we can just immediately clairvoyant sense it into play, and let's draw 2 cards here. Were any one of them good? Sure was. Got the Kadabra to draw 2 more cards. That is absolutely fantastic here. So, and I do believe John kind of has another basic in his hand that maybe he could kind of toss to this Gouging Fire if he doesn't want to get rid of any of his Pokemon, but instead he is just going to go up into the Esper here and could maybe do the Catterday attack, draw a card, but it puts the Esper to sleep, and unfortunately that poor bean is going to be asleep for just a little bit longer. Now, let's see if Mark is truly evil and is going to attack this sleeping cat. Unbelievable. If he does, I don't know, man. Really says something about a guy's character if he's going to attack a poor sleeping kitty like that. Maybe he'll find something like his boss's orders, right? Maybe he'll find a Guzma. You know, let's see if he does the right thing or not. Mark's going to throw up the Chaotic Swell here. This is a really cool stadium card where, you know, if someone's going to play a stadium card from their hand, you instead discard both stadiums instead. No stadium is in play. It's a really nice proactive stadium to prevent your opponent from getting their stadium out. Really nice because Psychic has access to what I think is the strongest stadium in the game in Dimension Valley. So really nice piece of disruption. And following it up with the Marnie, really attacking that huge hand that John had just drawn himself into. And again, this is where the game would just be over if we were kind of relying on the hand ability, but really nice that John has kind of more outs to that, can go into that Alakazam, start maybe trying to attack with the powerful hand attack, right? Going to see that Rapidash drawing Mark an additional card here. And it is looking less and less likely that Mark is going to not attack this poor Esper. But we will see. Going to attach a second Fire Energy. And what is he going to do? Will he do the right thing and just pass? I think he should. But no, oh my gosh, he's going to lunge out at that poor kitty. Thank goodness it doesn't knock it out, but it is going to wake it up. So, you know what, Mark? You're off the hook this time, but we'll see if that happens again here in the future. John's probably going to start off with something like the Clairvoyant Sense to try to draw a couple of extra cards here. Could go on, probably going to go on to the routes, or no, going to go on to the Xatu itself. Draw a couple of cards here, and I think I see, is that the Draw Energy? Where when you attach it from your hand, you get to draw a card. And I also see Avery. Avery's not a bad supporter here. Not only does it draw John 3 cards, it also is going to force Mark to discard one of his benched Pokemon. And that's exactly what we're going to see. So Gonna be interesting to see what Pokemon Mark decides to get rid of. Just thinking about the Moltres. Moltres makes sense. It is just kind of one of those big basics, easy to recover, had no resources on it. Makes sense to me. And very lucky for John, he did draw the Curlia, another piece of draw support. Discard a card and draw 2. And this is what's kind of really great about John's deck. He's going to be able to kind of go through so much of his deck here that he should be able to find something to attack with this turn. Could go into that Meowstic, which would be really nice, or could maybe find the Alakazam would be great as well. And see, he didn't find anything super great. We do see that he has the Gallade in his hand for next turn, which will be nice. I imagine he might just, draw another card again, or he could maybe go into the Mew and just kind of sacrifice it, right? Benching that Mew and retreating. This is the bench barrier Mew, which actually, you know what? It could actually come up. We do know that Mark has a couple bench damaging attacks, things like that Moltres and things like that Ninetales. So could actually be a relevant Pokemon here. Maybe not one you want to just throw away. But looking at his hand, he might just end up doing Caturday again, which would not be, I guess it's not the worst thing, right? Just draw a card, the Esper gets knocked out, but instead just going to go big Field Blower, going to get rid of that Muscle Band and getting rid of that Chaotic Swell that is going to open up John 2 using his Stadium cards. We see he has TM Evolution in his hand, which is pretty nice. Could allow the problem is, though, is that you want to be evolving the Alakazam from the hand so you can draw some cards. We do see he's got the Gallade in his hand already, so it's like the TM Evo actually doesn't really do a lot other than get Meowstic. But do you really want to be putting Xatu up in the active spot? I don't think you do, right? We're just going to see big Caturday to draw another card. I believe we saw a Level Ball, and once again, that poor baby just taking a little nap, and Mark has another opportunity to do the right thing. And let's see if he does it. He is kind of looking at his hand here and going to go for the Welder. Again, this card is just so nice. Going to accelerate an energy onto that Gouging Fire and draw 3 cards. Just so nice. And he's going to bench that Slugma. Slugma is going to evolve into that Macargo, but currently his card is going to go pretty slow because it is in the prizes. Unable to smooth over and stack the top card of his deck. Going to use Rapidash to draw another card. And hopefully he found something like an Escape Rope. That would be really nice. Going to find Magma Basin to allow him to, once again, just continue to accelerate a bunch of energy into play. Put another energy on the Chi-Yu. It's set up for that Mega Fire of Envy attack now. So once John gets a knockout, Mark's going to be able to go right back in with the Chi-Yu. And oh, Mark, I can't believe you've done this. Gonna knock out that Esper while it was taking a nap. How cowardly. Just very, very, very disappointing display. Like, Mark is definitely the heel of the match here. Just absolutely despicable. Despicable actions. John is going to go up into the Kadabra. It is going to have free retreat thanks to that U-turn board. And we are going to see that Curly is going to get rid of that TM Evo. Not really doing what John needs this game. And let's see what he has found. He has found the old Lucky Helmet, where if the Pokemon that the card's attached to is in the active spot and is damaged from an attack, you get to draw 2 cards. Really, really nice. And let's see. He does have the Gallade here, so Gallade could be a great way to kind of get out of this. Help find that Alakazam, get attacking with the powerful hand, which would be really nice. Now, something to note, a really cool interaction here. Instead, just going to find the Azeru, which is really nice. Going to find 3 evolution cards. Gets to find that Tinkaton. Gets to find the Alakazam. And finds that Meowstic. A little late for the Meowstic, but that's okay. A really nice interaction here is that powerful hand from the Alakazam puts damage counters on the opponent's Pokemon. So if John is able to knock out the Gouging Fire with Alakazam, Chi-Yu actually can't use Mega Fire of Envy for 140 because Mega Fire of Envy specifically says that it has to be knocked out by damage from an attack. That is placing damage counters. It is not damage from an attack. So that is going to be really nice for John here and just kind of getting back into the game. Mark is already up 2 prizes, and so this will get John a prize card and really hamper Mark from taking a quick prize card right back. We do see he is going to go into the Gallade anyway, and he's going to grab Clara. That's going to be really nice for next turn. A real nice piece of recovery. Can help him get back that Esper. Can also help him get back the Tinkatink to start setting up some future attackers. Very, very nice. And I do believe we'll finally see this Alakazam come down, and we're going to see the big Psychic draw big 3 cards. We see Energy. I think that was Scoop Up Net as well. Scoop Up Net, really nice. Again, just a way to really kind of recur these abilities over and over again. Could just scoop up the Alakazam, go back into Abra, but I do kind of agree here that I think that attacking with the Alakazam is your best bet, rather than trying to do some shady dealings type shenanigans where, you know, you evolve, use the abilities, just scoop them up, do it again. And Mark is going into the Chi-Yu. Let's see if our players realize this interaction between placing damage counters and damage from an attack. The Chi-Yu's a little interesting in that it does specify damage from an attack. Sometimes these revenge attacks don't care. They just say if a Pokemon was knocked out last turn. And we're going to see a Zeru of Mark's own, and we're going to see he's going to grab the Raboot, the Cinderace, as well as the Skeledirge. Very nice. Going to allow, you know, this Cinderace to slowly but surely get set up. And, you know, just kind of thinning some other cards out of the deck. So, you know, the Rapidash can maybe draw into something a little more potent here instead of one of those dead evolution cards. Right. Again, we know that Macargo is in the deck, or is in the prizes. And we also have not seen the Fuecoco hit the bench yet either. So, or Vulpix as well. Like, there's just not a lot of basics currently in play that can evolve. But although this isn't too bad here, like Magma Basin's going to be nice. Put an energy on that Raboot, and then maybe here on a future turn can, you know, push it up into the active, use that Libero ability, you know, get a Flare Striker going there for 190, which is very nice. But I think we are probably just going to see a Mega Fire of Envy as the attack for turn. It is only going to do 50. It is not going to do the 140 needed to knock out that Alakazam. But again, let's wait and see if the players catch it. This might be one of those things where, you know, you just think of the Chi-Yu as kind of just, oh, it's a revenge attack. You know, that's what it does. And you kind of don't read the fine print. And it is possible that both players miss it here, but we will see. Are going to see that Magma Basin accelerating an energy onto the Raboot. We see Night Stretcher getting back the Gouging Fire for a future turn. Very nice. And gonna, again, draw a card with Rapidash. And yeah, I mean, like, Mark's in a very good spot. He's got a lot of Pokemon in play. He's got lots of abilities that is going to help him accelerate fire energy into play. So he's feeling pretty good here. And we are going to see, yeah, I'm so glad the players caught it. Just a big Mega Fire of Envy 450. And yeah, I think Mark might have thought it was a knockout. Yeah, he's pointing at the Gouging Fire. You knocked out my Gouging Fire, but doesn't matter. Alakazam did not do damage from an attack. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And back over to John's side. This is kind of the opportunity he needs to get back into the game. And not even going to use the Clara. He doesn't quite get full value off of the Clara. So instead can just use the Lana's Aid to get those Pokemon back into the hand. So going to get that Tinkatink, going to get that Esper as well as a Psychic Energy, which he can just Clairvoyant Sense into play, and going to put it right on that Tinkatink, and he's going to draw 2 cards. The Tinkaton does care about having a special energy attached to it. If you do, that special hammer attack does 180, huge 180. That is going to knock out every Pokemon that Mark has in his deck. So hopefully we can maybe see a little bit of that this game here. And wow, just what a full hand that John has going on. And he's got the Dimension Valley. Not only is that stadium just so powerful, reducing the attack costs of your psychic Pokemon, but it's also going to bump that Magma Basin, which Mark is using to accelerate all that energy into play. A lot of his Pokemon have a lot of high attack costs. We see a lot of them have 2 to 3. We do see that Lucky Energy is going to be put on the Tinkatink. That's going to fulfill that special energy requirement. But it also means that once that Tinkatink is attacked at all, it's just going to allow John to draw another card. Really, really nice. We see he is going to pick up the Acerola with the Gallade. Love that we get to see kind of multiple versions of the same supporter. We saw the Acerola's Premonition. Going to get to see the Acerola here, which just picks up a Pokemon and all cards attached to it. This is kind of, the gold standard of picking up Pokemon. Penny wishes it could. Professor Toro wishes it could be as good as Acerola. And just going to see another attack from the Alakazam. Going to knock out that Chi-Yu. Mark is just going to push up the Slugma. Makes sense. It does have free retreat and big Cinderace coming down. This is what's really nice is that can free retreat out of the Slugma. Going to get to use that Libero ability, accelerating 2 energy onto Cinderace. And it's going to allow it to finally knock out this Alakazam. Which, unless John can maybe find something like a rare candy, which I don't actually think John is on rare candy, so there's no way for Tinkaton to get into play this next turn. So probably going to have to go in with like the Meowstic, which has an attack very similar. Hand Kinesis, right? Does 10 for each card in the hand, so that'd be nice. But unfortunately, big Iono is going to come down, resetting John to just 4 cards in his hand. Really unfortunate. And yeah, we're even going to see Mark is going to cut the hand because there are that many cards in it. So let's see how the rest of this turn kind of plays out here. Mark is going to kind of go back up on the prize trade. And he's found the Fuecoco and big E-Hammer, gold enhanced hammer, and he's going to get rid of that mystery energy over on the Gallade. Mystery energy, really nice, reduces the retreat cost by 2, so that did give the Gallade free retreat. Now there's actually kind of, instead, just going to take off the lucky energy from the Tinkatink. I also think that makes sense. I personally would have really liked to see the retreat cost on that Gallade kind of get messed up. I think that would have been really nice, but I also understand that Tinkaton is a very poignant attacker, so maybe wanting to get rid of that special energy makes sense here. It also kind of makes a lot of sense because now all of John's special energy cards have been committed into the board. We saw he discarded the draw energy a little earlier in the game with the Kirlia. We just saw the lucky energy get put into the discard pile, and the mystery energy is currently in play. So we do actually, you know what? The more I think about it, I think that makes a lot of sense. You've effectively neutralized the Tinkaton as an attacker for the rest of this game. Really, really nice play. Going to see the Field Blower getting rid of that Dimension Valley and going to get a prize card here. Very, very nice. Now, good news is that John is just going to kind of have access to the U-turn board again, which is nice. Going to see that Clairvoyant Sense accelerating onto the Gallade, and I think that might be the attacker for the turn, is the Gallade. That swirling slice attack, really nice, does 160, but you got to move an energy to one of your benched Pokemon. This is really, like the math is math in here because Mark had to use that Magma Basin to put in energy on this Cinderace. So normally that 160 would not be good enough, but because of the 20 damage on it, it sure will be. And wow, what a great supporter card off of the Buddy Catch here. It's going to be that Tulip. Really nice recovery card for the Psychic deck. You just get to put 4 cards in any combination of energy and Pokemon back into the hand. So really nice. It's going to re-pick up the Alakazam and probably just going to pick up a Psychic Energy card. Yeah. So really nice full value here. And you got the whole evolution line back in your hand. And kind of like with that Shady Dealings Intellion we see out of water, John is very happy to evolve through this line again. This is not like the Cinderace where like the Raboot does nothing. Like, yeah, I actively want to be evolving into Kadabra, evolving into Alakazam to get to draw those cards. Really nice stuff. Really, really nice stuff here. And unfortunately, though, all of those evolution cards that John had picked up into his hand are back down at the bottom of the deck. So he is going to have to go in with the Gallade, which is going to get the job done. It is going to take a big knockout. But if Mark can do a return knockout on Gallade, that is going to be a little rough because, I see, makes a lot of, that rocks, dude. I love that. That's so sick. Using the swirling slice, it doesn't say that it has to be a basic energy. It just says move an energy. So he's moving the mystery energy off of the Gallade and moving it over to the Tinkatink. So that way, when we go into Tinkaton, we can use Special Hammer for 180. That rips, dude. That rocks. Love to see that thought there. And then, yep, just going to see Mark is going to attach an energy to Gouging Fire. Maybe he can find something like his Blacksmith. Blacksmith would be really nice here, would get that Gouging Fire set up. But, gonna see Versus Seeker to pick up a supporter card. And he's looking like he's eyeing up Ino, and he's just going to play it. Interesting. I understand wanting to attack John's hand here, but you're only drawing 3 cards, so, you know, I hope that they are some good ones here. And I think that might be Giant Hearth in the hand, I think that might be the Stadium, which would be nice, getting some more fire energy cards, but unfortunately, you've already committed your attach for turn. You don't really have anything else going on here. It looks like that Macargo is still stuck in the prizes, which is really unfortunate. Would love to see that Macargo, but we're going to start off with Trainer's Mail. Let's see what the grabs are. I think I see there's some fire energy and big escape rope. Makes sense. I mean, I say that it's like probably one of the only grabs that Mark had available to him. Like, escape rope doesn't do much. You really want to be knocking out the Gallade this turn, but I don't think Mark is going to be able to do that. I don't see any way in his deck list for him to get 2 more energy on this Gouging Fire. And we've already seen he's gone through the Muscle Band, so there's no way to, like, you know, take a knockout here or even get close to. So we might just see him passing. We may see him kind of try to find a Pokemon that he can just kind of toss up in the active and get knocked out. But maybe, you know, the Rapidash can draw him into something. I don't think it's going to. I think we may just end up seeing a pass. Maybe we'll see a lunge out for 30, but I don't think just tossing away this Gouging Fire is going to win you the game here, right? All John has to do is use that Clairvoyant Sense, accelerate another energy onto Gallade, and he's taking another knockout with it. And I think this is going to be the moment where John is going to pull ahead in this matchup. If Mark misses an attack here, I really think John is going to be able to run away with the rest of this game. He's very close to having his last 3 prize cards just kind of on board, right? Gallade can take a knockout, and then he's going to go into KADRAWBRA on this turn. Or no, he's not going to go into KADRAWBRA because we saw that Ino. So, you know, if John can find a way to just find his evolutions, he is going to end up winning this game. You know, can attack with Gallade, attack with Tinkaton, attack with KADRAWBRA, or maybe even Esper, and kind of the game is over here. So, yeah, and Mark is just going to retreat into the Fuecoco. And yeah, just going to probably pass here. He's already attached for turns. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. Let's take a look at John's hand. I don't think John has any great things in his hand, but can Buddy catch, which is really nice, dude. This card is so good. Search for any supporter. You Iono'd him. Great, doesn't matter. He's just going to get to draw some more cards anyway. Although, I'm taking a look at the supporters in his deck, and a lot of the supporters are kind of these, like, reactionary supporters. We see that he's on these kind of, like, your opponent reveals their hand and you draw cards, right? The Acerola's Premonition. We see he's on things like Getsis, also on things like Clive, right? Like these cards where you look at your opponent's hand and then draw cards based on the number of X card you find there. And we do see that Mark is at like 2 cards in his hand. So like that isn't really going to do a whole lot, but you know, I still think playing Getsis makes sense here, right? You get to like just shuffle any item cards that's in Mark's hand back into his deck. And even if you only find 1 and you're drawing 2, like that's not awesome, but you're making it where like if Mark has something that he was like waiting on for the next turn, you just get to kind of put it back. And I think that that's like really slick. So let's see if that's what he ends up going for here, or if he's got something else in mind. Yeah, let's take a look at Mark's hand. Let's see it. Oh, no, he's got way more than 2. He's got 4 cards in his hand. Yeah, and oh my God, Escape Rope and Buddy Poffin are going to get shuffled back into the deck, and then John is going to draw 2 cards. Really nice here. So going into Mark's next turn, we did see the Giant Hearth, which can help him find some fire energies, but again, everything attacks for too many energies here, and like he's got, that's kind of it. Like that's all he's got going on now. Like, oh, that's really tough. That's like not great for him because okay, you know what? We see counter energy. Counter energy is in the hand. That is really nice. So Gallade takes a knockout on this Fuecoco. Then you know maybe you can go into the Gouging Fire. You get to use the Blazing Charge attack, which because now that John will be at 4 or fewer prizes, you are going to knock out the Gallade. And currently, you know, John does not have another attacker set up. We are going to see the Pal Pad shuffling in some of those really great recursion supporters back into the deck. Or not recursion, but we see like the Zeru and the Acerola's Premonition getting shuffled back into the deck. Never mind. Forget I said anything there. And then, yeah, just probably going to see, oh no, did he not find the Psychic Energy? Did not find the Psychic Energy. Oh no, John. Unable to get an attack off this turn. Just instead going to go up into the Tinkaton. and gonna put the lucky helmet on it, and he's just gonna use that attack to like draw a card. That's fine. It does save the Gallade for a future turn here, but like, and we know that actually that's kind of fine. We know that Mark doesn't have anything going on here, right? Counter energy is not online, cannot use it, and just attaching one is not good enough to get a good attack off here. So actually, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. And you put the lucky helmet on it, so like, there's no point in Mark maybe trying to like retreat and use lunge out for 30, right? Oh, I can two-shot this Tinkatink. Like, that's not great because then John gets to draw a couple more cards here. So I see it, I see the vision here. Actually makes a lot more sense than I was giving him credit for. And let's just see, we got to see what the draw for turn was, as well as the draw off of this Rapidash. But judging by Mark's kind of mannerisms here, I don't think he's got anything great. It seems like he's kind of thinking, like, what can I really do here? Do I want to, like, toss down this Magma Basin and just get some fire energies? Like, maybe. I mean, that kind of seems fine, I guess. Just get another attach for turn onto the Gouging Fire. But, okay, Level Ball. Level Ball's nice. Would love to see it pick up that Macargo, but kind of like we know that Macargo's in the prizes. Can't grab something like the Crocolore. That's got too much HP. Just going to grab Vulpix here. I don't hate grabbing Vulpix if we can find a way into the Ninetales. Ninetale Dance, putting 9 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon ain't bad. Can take a knockout on one of these evolving basics here. Can knock out that Abra, knock out that Esper. Could even knock out the Tinkatink. And because you're not doing damage to the Tinkatink, you're placing damage counters. Like that kind of rips too. You don't worry about triggering that lucky helmet. So maybe that's what we'll see. Maybe we'll see like Magma Basin attached for turn. Like that could make some sense to me. Oh, Fire Crystal. Very nice. Just gets to pick up 3 fire energy cards from his discard pile. So now he's got the fire energy he needs to get an attack off next turn. Can attack to Gouging Fire and then attack with Gouging Fire on the following turn. Can also just attack to Vulpix here. I do like that because if you're not getting a knockout this turn, you do probably expect John to get a knockout, which means that counter energy is going to be good enough for Gouging Fire. So you'd rather like kind of like get the energy on the Vulpix and then try to maybe go into Ninetales next turn. We are going to see Gouging Fire getting rid of a fire to pick up, the Giant Hearth getting rid of a fire to pick up 2 more fire cards. And we see that Mark's deck is getting very thin here. So, very, very possible for him to find those evolution cards or, just kind of dig through the deck a little bit more. He's seeing 2 cards a turn thanks to Rapidash. And so maybe that's what Mark needs here to kind of get out of it. I also like playing the Giant Hearth. We know that John has that Buddy Catch Gallade, can maybe go into something like the Acerola's Premonition again to draw some more cards. And so by just playing stuff out of your hand, just being like, my hand's fire energy. Like, I think his hand is literally all energy here. I think it's some fire energies and counter energy. So, like, John does not get to use these kind of cute draw cards based on what your opponent has for the next turn. He's just going to have to, get there the old-fashioned way. And yeah, it doesn't really look like Mark has anything else going on here. I think he might just have to pass at that is what it kind of looks like here. But yeah, we just see he's got a bunch of energy in his hand, which is nice. Let's see what John ends up doing with his turn here. Going to start off with that Buddy Catch. Let's see what he ends up grabbing. I mean, he still has access to things like Cynthia and Caitlyn. He's got access to Arven. I think it's probably just going to be the Azeru, though, to find some of those evolution cards, and that's exactly what we're going to see. And yeah, probably just going to end up grabbing like the Kadabra. Yep, there it is. The Tinkatuff makes sense. I wonder what stage 2 he's going to grab. Ooh, he's not. He's just going to grab the Meowstic. Just 3 stage 1s. I kind of like it. We also see that he has that timepiece, that strange timepiece, where you get to de-evolve. Now, it is worth noting you don't get to just immediately re-evolve. He can't go like Kadabra, timepiece, Kadabra, draw 4 cards this turn. Like, can't do anything like that. But we could see him go Kadabra, timepiece to put Kadabra back in the hand, and then just like next turn I'll go back into Kadabra again. Could maybe even see like devolve the Gallade, use Refinement if you really want to. Like, I think that's really cute. I don't think it's good, but I think it's very cute, because he's probably going to end up attacking with the Gallade this turn, I would imagine. It's just like the problem is the second you attack here, you do activate that counter energy, which is in Mark's hand. We also saw that Mark has been splitting up his energies because he's banking on using counter energy. So you're not really forced to make a decision here, right? Like if you pass again, Mark's not attacking again unless he can find like the Ninetales. But even if he finds the Ninetales, Fuecoco has 2 retreat. He can't get that out of the active. And yeah, dude, just strange timepiece. Go back into Curlia, use refinement, draw a couple of cards. Actually, I'm like kind of coming around to it. Like this isn't a bad play here. Like you don't have everything you need just yet. So like, why not? Just like, let's use refinement again. Let's keep drawing some cards. Getting rid of Gladian makes sense. You kind of know what's in the prizes. It's nothing like extremely relevant. You'd rather just do something else. I kind of like it. I wonder how close John is to that hand. If like that is like kind of the win condition now is just, are we going to go into hand? We know Mark is doing nothing next turn. So like, yeah, maybe. We're just going to see that play rough doing 30 damage. And yeah, going to see it attached to the to the Vulpix, which is nice now. Like Mark is very close to doing something, but we did see that the Floatstone's already been used. Like, I guess, big Lily's Determination. Very nice. Going to allow him to draw 6 cards. He has taken a prize. This card rocks, dude. I love Lily's. Shuffle back, draw 8 if it's, towards the beginning of the game and you're at all 6 prizes. But even here, just drawing 6, I mean, it's just, Cynthia, right? It's just Cynthia. Objectively better Cynthia. I guess the outs that Mark has in his deck is something like Escape Rope. I think Escape Rope is the only other card in his deck that has that switching capability here. And so, yeah, it's literally just Escape Rope. So he's digging for Escape Rope. And like, that's it. That's his only out to getting this Fuecoco out of the active. Oh, and he found it. Bang. There you go. He gets to start doing stuff. We love to see it. Okay. So, John is getting punished for his hubris just a little bit here. Like, none of the Pokemon on his bench he wants to slap up in the active. Like, because he doesn't want any of these Pokemon getting knocked out. Like, I guess the Meowstic is the closest thing to getting knocked out because it doesn't do anything. You want to maybe be attacking with the Tinkaton, going into Alakazam. Even just going back into Gallade doesn't seem too bad. But, like, yeah, going into Meowstic, yeah, I mean, I can see it. And I'm just going to go up into Slugma. Slugma still has that Floatstone, so has free retreat, and very nice for Mark. He is now like back in the game. Let's see if he has found the Ninetales. If he has found the Ninetales, he gets to get an attack off this turn, can knock out that Meowstic, could knock out the Tinkatuff, which would be really nice, and now can even knock out the Curlia. But no, just gonna pass. And in that case, I wonder if just holding the Escape Rope makes sense. John is not going to, like, Iono you at all. So, like, maybe saving the Escape Rope would make some sense here because if, like, John goes for something like a Guzma, then, like, you're kind of just stuck in the active. Now, we know John's not on any kind of... He's on 0 gust effects. No boss, no Guzma, nothing like that. So, I guess Mark doesn't have to worry about it. So, no hand attack, no... I guess there is... hand attack here. You do know about some things like Getsis and things like that versus Seeker. Getsis would be kind of gnarly here, right? If then he gets rid of your 1 switching out, but gonna see the Xatu accelerate some energy here onto the Kadabra, draw 2, and very interesting. John does have the Gardevoir, so you know what? Devolving the Gallade makes sense if the plan is to go back into Gardevoir on this, or to go into Gardevoir here. You get to kind of switch which evolution you're playing here with that split evolution line. I think that's really fun. Like I've been very impressed with John's deck this game here. It just has so many cool little lines and big Alakazam to draw 3. Love to see that. And he's got quite a bit of cards in his hand. He's only got like 5 cards left in the deck. I don't know, like I just don't know how many cards he has. Like I wonder if the plan is just to like sit here and go into unknown hand to win the game. I don't know exactly how many cards John has in his discard pile. Like, does he even have 35 cards left kind of in play, period? Like, he might. I'm just not exactly sure, right? Because if he goes into Tinkaton and then uses Gather Materials, that's 2 less cards in his hand. He is drawing 3, so he's up a card, but I wonder if it's this thing where it's like, I need to not discard any cards, I just need to draw the rest of them. Could be the play here, right? I'm not exactly sure. And yeah, just going to retreat into the Alakazam. Going to get to use that that attack there to take a big knockout. That powerful hand, some real, Super Smash Bros. Big, powerful hand coming down. And yeah, we're going to see an evolution into the Gardevoir, evolution into the Tinkaton. Totally makes sense. And just going to attack, not going to use Gather Materials, not going to use Shining Arcana, just going to wait. Just going to wait a turn. I wonder if that is maybe the plan here, is that John wants to go into the hand, or, he's only got like 3 cards left in deck anyway. I think he's got like under 5, so using all these abilities probably not the best for him anyway. And unfortunately, though, John has now given Mark he has now less prize cards than Mark, so he does get to use that counter energy and Big Poffin as well. Also just thinning some stuff out of the deck. We do see that both players very low on cards in deck here. So it's kind of up in the air, like how much resources these players even have to try to close out the game. We're going to see 0 cards get grabbed off of that Buddy Poffin. So it's like, gonna attack with this Gouging Fire, and then if this Gouging Fire gets knocked out, which it probably will be, right? Like Meowstic is very close to taking a knockout. We see that. I don't know. Does John have enough energy cards to get 2 on the Meowstic? I don't think he does, but I guess it doesn't matter, right? The Tinkaton is already set up, so Mark takes a knockout here on the Alakazam. John then takes a big knockout with Tinkaton, and then how does Mark knock out this Tinkaton? I don't know if he can. And like the Gardevoir is also pretty close to being attacking. It's got 1 psychic energy on it. Like it's just it's not looking good for Mark here. And even if you do something like you're able to stall this like Xatu in the active or something, again, that just doesn't matter because like John has that alternate win condition with the unknown hand, right? So it's like you can sit on that as long as you want. Like it doesn't matter, right? We also know that John has access to Escape Rope in his hand, so like that doesn't matter much anyway. But yeah, it's looking like this is very much John's game to lose. He's very much ahead. He's got a much stronger board state, and just very unfortunate for Mark that Macargo never found its way out of the prize cards. And so we're just gonna see Big Boss on the Tinkaton. And you know what? This makes sense. Just gonna knock out that Tinkaton and gonna trigger that Lucky Helmet. John's gonna draw 2 cards. I think does he only have 2 cards left in deck? No, he's got 3. So he's gonna draw to 2, and now like the Alakazam is just gonna get to take a big knockout here. And he's counting the cards. Does he have enough for Unknown Hand? No, he does not. Just gonna attack because he's got the Unknown in his hand. Just gonna attach and then take a big knockout. I wonder if that's the case. Like, if John draws the rest of the cards in his deck, can he? I don't think he can win because he would just do it this turn, right? He would just Shining Arcana, draw the 2 cards, bench Unown, retreat into it, win the game. So I don't think John has the ability to win with the Unown. Or maybe he does. Maybe the prize card is what like does it for him. Maybe. Because he can use Acerola here, right? Like the attach to the Gardevoir, like he could push up Gardevoir, use Shining Arcana, draw the rest of his deck, bench the Unown, use Acerola to pick up the Gardevoir. Then you've just added 3, 4, 6 cards to your hand. Maybe that's John's way. Really, he gets to win 6 ways from Sunday, right? He can just attack, take the rest of his knockouts. But I think that'd be so sick to see the alternate win condition come down here at the end of the game. Mark has played one of my favorite cards. He's played the Ball Guy, but fortunately, Mark, I don't think it's doing much for you right now. Grabbing that Hisuian Heavy Ball and, just going to Ultra Ball it away, and the Colossus Tenacity, grabbing that Skeledirge. And you know what, though? Mark does have Rare Candy. If he goes Rare Candy Skeledirge, 180 is pretty big, although it's only 150, and John has way more than 15 cards in his hand. So, maybe. I don't know. Meowstic does 10 for each card in the hand, so I actually think Meowstic can take a knockout here as long as John has access to 2 energy. Meowstic can knock out Skeledirge, and I don't know if he actually found it. I think he may just be passing. Yeah, he's just passing. Or he's using the attack. Does the attack heal? I think the attack heals 30. Yeah, flip a coin if heads heal 30. Very nice. All right, John, let's see it. You're going to draw for turn. He just attacks and he wins, right? Shining Arcana. And then, does Shining Arcana have to be 2 cards? You know what? Shining Arcana has to be 2 cards. Sorry, Judge. Two prize penalty. Actually, Mark wins. 2 prize card penalty. He did it. Oh my goodness. And Rare Candy was the next card. Yeah, Alakazam's going to take that final prize card. And then Rare Candy Skeledirge would be nice. Because it has the Unaware ability, you prevent all effects of attacks. Alakazam could not knock out the Skeledirge. Oh, that's really cool. That would have been a really nice little way. They're like, all right, are you going to deck John? I think you might be able to deck him, but unfortunately, that is not going to happen. And that is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you do all of the things. I'm going to give you the call to action. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. Leave me a comment. What do you think about John's deck? I think that deck is super, super sick, and I'm really glad it got to do its thing this game. But with that, my name is Cody Hope, and I'm signing out. Oh boy, I'm sure excited to do a great... Dang it!